If you're a beginner in NoGi, it might be hard to control your partner's arm and finish an armbar. Today we're going to take a look at controlling our opponent's shoulder first and then executing the armbar from there. My name's Nathan Haddad. I'm a black belt under Helio Seneca. Let's look at the armbar from closed guard. So, in the gi, this is a much easier task to take my partner's arm, right? Because in the gi, Max might have a standard posture, I might have a cross-collar grip, I might have a grip on the sleeve, and I can start to isolate the arm using sleeve grips. And when I pull on the sleeve in the gi, I can move his arm closer to me. But in no-gi, Max might just be here. And now, no good opponent is going to just let me hold his arm like this. And especially as we start to get sweaty and more fatigued, it's going to be even tougher. So what we're going to look to do is move into a high guard situation. And what I'm going to do is take my left hand and control Max's elbow and bicep here. I just put my thumb on top of his bicep. My right hand is going to make a collar tie. So this is the biggest ask here, is I want to catch and control. Now, if I can move Max's arm, that's going to be the better point of contention here. What I want to look to do is first catch, just here. As soon as I move Max's arm, look how I'm going to place his elbow in my belly. And now as I control the head, this is much closer to me. If I just reach up, it's hard to get to. But when I catch here, look how I bring my legs to my chest, pull his elbow to my belly button, and now my right hand controls behind his head. So this is going to allow me a moment in time, okay? I can't hang out here, but now what I'm immediately going to do is move my feet. My left foot goes to Max's hip, my right foot climbs in his lat, and now I cross my feet, okay? So let's look at this from the other side just so you guys can see what I'm doing with my feet here. We're moving into a high guard. So from here, again, I need the bicep and I need his head, but look how far away his head is. So I control the wrist. Here. As I bump my hips, I pull my knees to my chest, pop. I get Max's elbow inside my hip line, really by my belly button, and my right hand now controls the head. From here, my left foot's gonna go on Max's hip, and now watch how I'm gonna climb my right leg high, and I'm gonna take Max's shoulder out of my lock. So I cross my feet here, okay? Again, taking Max's shoulder out of the lock, okay? Now, there's varying thoughts on which foot should be on top here. A lot of people really like this lock here. I've always preferred to have my left foot on top in this lock, okay, for a few different reasons. We'll get into that later. But right now, I found myself in this top lock or high guard position where now, if Max is trying to square his shoulders pushing in, it's a pretty tough thing, okay? And now my legs do the work of controlling Max's posture. Because by pulling my heels down nice and tight, if Max tries to posture up, it's really hard. If Max tries to take his arm free, it's really hard, okay? So we've now ended in our high guard. 1, 2. But we've controlled the arm, but what if we want to arm bar it? Well, now my arm bar is right in front of me. The first thing I'm going to do is take my left hand and I'm going to just reach my wrist over Max's. And my right hand is going to start to reach underneath Max's leg. I pull myself tight to a strong angle. I make a scooping grip under the leg. Now from here, my left leg is just going to brush his hair. As my hamstring brushes across Max's hair, I'm going to pull my heel down to my butt and I'm going to take my hand over and just bridge my hips for an armbar finish. Okay? Now, a couple things once we get to here. When I find myself in this position and I start to roll my leg over Max's head like this, I don't want to let my leg just hang naturally here. From here, Max can posture up to the sky, and now he's going to take his arm out really easy. Okay? If I cross my feet here, Max can just rip his arm free and also build posture. Come back. But if I keep my legs engaged, pulling my heel to my butt, making sure that my hamstring is over top of Max's head, and I'm really pointing my right leg in the same direction up by his head. Now, look at the pressure on Max's head. Now, if Max tries to pull his arm out, it's pretty tough. Posture up here, Max. He won't be able to. If I'm like this, he's going to. So I need to make sure my legs are in the proper position here and here. Now the finish is simple. My hand comes over Max's wrist, and I just bridge my hips against his arm. Okay, so one more time from the very beginning. We start in the closed guard. I need to control Max's arm. There's my catch, just here. I pull my knees to my chest. I put his elbow on my belly button. My right hand goes to the head. Now as I climb up into my high guard, I've set the position. He's not gonna posture out of this. From here, my left hand comes over the arm. My right hand starts to come underneath and through. I scoop grip, and I'm gonna roll my left hamstring over Max's head, pull my heel to my butt, pinch my knees, and bridge my hips, and I get a super strong finish from my back with an armbar from closed guard. Okay? As an added bonus to this, with my right hand underneath Max's leg, if Max starts to really push into me and stack me up here, and oh man, I feel like I'm losing this. He's taking all the pressure, putting it on me. Remember, I have this scoop grip, so I can kick using just a basic pendulum sweep here and drive everything to the top position. And now I can finish a standard armbar from my back, bring both hands to the wrist, sit everything back, pinch my knees, and finish the armbar that way as well. Okay, so one more time from here. Controlling the wrist, elbow, pop. There's my high guard, okay? I'm gonna rotate you here, Max. Notice, as I take my right hand underneath, my left hand comes over, I start to make this armbar transition. Max is pushing into me super strong. I just kick up and over his head. Build everything up, sit everything back. And now I can finish a standard armbar off from a standard finishing position from the top, as opposed to being on my back there. So that's gonna be one way that we can finish an armbar off our back using high guard as control. Guys, armbars don't need to be complicated. If you wanna see how I teach my students here how to do armbars for the last 20 years, from white belt to black belt, you can see it all online at our full jiu-jitsu library at getselfdefense.com.